a bigger chance for serious rain was today. There have been times it's really been coming down.
It's been loud here.
Yeah, legit, like pretty much all day, but the heaviest stuff has been this afternoon into this evening, and this is what we need. So I showed you some of the rainfall totals so far. It varies, right? We have 1.5 inches in some spots, ½ inch in others. I think we'll end up 1 inch to 2 inches, which is something.
Range.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about what it would take to erase this drought in 1 month here in a minute. But this rain has been helpful. As I mentioned, what I've really thought was good about it is that the precipitation shield has been very solid. So there haven't been really many breaks in that. We've seen light to moderate rain with embedded heavier downpours in there, and you can see a few more heavy downpours into York County. And this is the back edge right there into New Hampshire. And so we'll see that settle down a bit over southern Maine over the next few hours, but several more hours of rain in through central and down east and northern Maine. This is 9 o'clock tonight. Even 11 o'clock, it's still raining in a good part of the state. And as I mentioned, it's pretty warm too, with temperatures in the upper 60s to around 70. And for late September and a rainstorm during the evening, that's mild stuff. The rain continues until midnight, and then after midnight, we start to move it out pretty quickly from west to east. And tomorrow is a really nice day. It's always looks sneaky warm, upper 70s to around 80. We did have a shower chance in the forecast yesterday. We were able to take that out though, as that disturbance stays up into Canada. So with that in Canada, we have just a nice day, upper 70s to around 80. The mountains are closer to 70 degrees, but it's going to have kind of summery vibe, I think, to it tomorrow. And then Saturday looks good too, with a lot of sunshine. Temperatures are a bit cooler on Saturday, 70 to 75, but keep in mind that's still above average for this time of the year. So rainfall yet to fall here. Looking at another ½ inch over southern Maine or so. The models are going to be a little bit all over the place on the exact amounts, but I think 1 inch or so across northern Maine, and then we're wrapping up over southern Maine and into New Hampshire. So as far as the kind of theoretical, what would it take to get us back to normal on this drought situation? In 1 month, we'd need 9 inches of rain along the coast, 8 or so inland and into the mountains. So let's say we got 1.5 inches out of this storm. That leaves us a pretty big deficit that I think is unlikely for us to get done in the next 3 weeks, barring something tropical, which there is a lot of tropical activity going on in the Atlantic right now. Umberto here, and then another storm that's likely to be named shortly. But there's a big high that's going to keep that stuff away from us over the next week or so. So there may be a landfall in the Carolinas, but there will be no issues for Maine. So we're going to go back to our dry pattern, regularly scheduled programming here into next week. Pretty mild into Monday, and then we start to cool down, kind of neutral on Tuesday, and then we get coolish on Wednesday and Thursday, and that's back to that feeling we had last weekend, a high around 60, overnight lows, upper 30s to around 40 degrees. But before we get there, some pretty mild stuff, and we've talked about this. If you get to 80 this time of the year, like that's a pretty big reach actually. It may not seem like it, so that will be probably tomorrow and maybe again on Monday of next week.
Great end to the month.
Yeah, back to that familiar 7-day.
Yeah, just with nothing in it, basically.
Sunny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keith.